Good afternoon. Hi, Indonesia. How are we doing? Hey, we didn't hear any response. Hi, Indonesia. How are we doing? Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. And of course, she was Sasha. Thank you very much for introducing us. And we all had a real delicious lunch. So it's on my speaker to keep you all awake for the next 40 minutes. It's okay? Okay. So it gives me great pleasure. In fact, this is a very intriguing session that we have. It's on NEUROMETRIC. The moment NEUROMETRIC comes up, probably at a first glance, we think whether it is something all from a neuroscience lab or something on psychology. In fact, let me tell you, it's on both. So, of course, it has got some added dimensions of AI as well. So that's where we are. Friends, we all live in a VUCA world. We all know that. And today, sometimes in the morning, I was interacting with some youngsters. I was telling them that we all knew change is the only constant in life. But the change is changing so much that we don't know really what to do. Every moment, in fact, I have one quote which Mark gave in the morning, has stayed with me. It is the quote from Buddha. I change with every breath. Thank you, Mark, for giving us that. So with this VUCA world, it is imperative for all of us. How do we know, how do we prepare ourselves? So normally I speak of these 3 A's: agility, adaptability, and third A is how do you align with the purpose? Again, Mark in the morning spoke about purpose, if you have all noted it. So how do we do that? At this point of time, it is no more on command and control. So you need to go, you need to know, you need to profile your leaders to take corrective actions if you want to. If you want to make your leaders ready for future or ever-changing scenarios which is happening, then obviously you have to be ready. So with that, provocatively, I would just like to see, or I would like to ask this question to myself, to others. Can it be trained? Can the minds be trained? Can it be made ready? So this is where our speaker, coming from India, I got an immediate connect with her because her name starts with Lyra Puspa. So Puspa means flower in India. So that's how I got an immediate connect. So thank you, Lyra, for being there.
You're welcome.
So we will have this session for around 25-30 minutes. We will try to have some questions at the end of it. I'm sure this session promises to take us on a journey that blends neuroscience, psychology, and leadership theory, along with what she has promised us is artificial intelligence. So just briefly, let me try to introduce. I think she has really given me a difficult task to introduce herself. And I will start from the back. I think we should all, at least for the ladies, we should hear from all of you. She is the winner of Indonesia Women Award in 2012. It has to be louder. Gents also have to do it loud. She got the Indonesia Entrepreneur Award in 2013. She also got Best Global Coaching Award, Game Innovator in both 2016 and 2019. So here it is, Lyra Puspa, Dr. Lyra Puspa for you. who is the founder and president of Vanaya and Co. She's also she's in the Global Science Council at the Coach Hub. She's also in the Board of Studies at PDF-OC. She's also in editorial board of Journal of Coaching Ethics. I think that's from my side. I think we are all eager to hear from her, and I'm sure I'm not seeing my brother Sheikh Faleh. I must thank him for having her here to speak on neurometrics. So over to you, Puspa. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjan.
I will go down, Puspa.
Okay.
It's okay with you?
Yes,
I'll
sure.
sit down and then you can, whole stage is yours.
Yes,
thank
you. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Have you got a great lunch today? Yes, I hope so. Okay. So it will be a very challenging hours because we will talk about the brain and science after having full stomach inside of us, right? But I will make it very light. So I'm Lyra Puspa. I'm a business and organizational neuroscientist. It's basically just a fancy way to saying that I study the brain of people who tend to make everything is way too complicated and then coach them just to simplify it. And at Vanaya and companies, excuse me, okay. At Vanaya and companies, actually, we not only study the brain, but also help leaders to grow, not just by thinking hard or making tougher decisions every day as an executive, but also to rewire their brain biologically, okay? Because yes, now actually leadership from the development of neuroscience for the past 30 years, and also thanks to the development of AI, leadership is not just an ability, it's not just only a mindset, it is a brain set. And actually leadership agility is also a brain set. And today I would like to share with you our latest findings, our research in neuroscience about leadership agility, and also share one of the tools that we develop at Vanaya, which is called NEUROMETRIC. It is actually a brain analytics to measure what we are often talking about, but rarely quantify, which is leadership agility. But first of all, let's start with the questions, okay? What is leadership agility, and why leadership agility matters? I think Ranjan has already mentioned us about FUCA. I don't have to talk more about this. We know that we have these very volatile situations around the globe. There are wars here and there. There's a lot of wars around us that affect the supply chain, the decision making. Our business has to keep pivoting, and then COVID also is a sudden changes, and then there is a tariff war as well. So it makes our decisions making harder and harder because we don't know what we are going to expect the next day, right? So that's why a lot of research has already stated that agility is now imperative. There is no way that we can lead this organization, our organizations, without any agility. So leadership agility and business agility is now considered as one of the most important characteristics that is needed by every organization to not only to thrive, but also even to survive such unpredictable challenges right now. From where? What is actually the coverage of agility? It is starting from strategic agility, business pivoting, business models, how we actually align our resources, and also our strengths, our structures within organizations, so our organizations can also respond to the situations outside. And also the process agility, which with agile way of working, that we can pivoting our process in internal organizations. But all these stages of agility actually needs one dimensions of agility that we need to have, which is people agility, either the talent or especially the leaders, okay? But what is actually, what constitutes to people agility? What makes people agile? What kind of agility that is needed by our people in organizations? So basically, when we talk about people agility, it means that we need to adapt quickly to changes, which is called change agility. So everyone within organization needs to have a high level of change agility in order to face this, this VUCA, this unprecedented changes around us. But what is actually what is actually this change agility rooted from? It is rooted from the brain of the people. So if we talk about people agility or change agility of our people, our leaders in organization, we cannot escape from talking about how agile their brain is, because agility basically is rooted from the brain. So from the neuroscience perspective, I just like you to understand what is agility from the biological perspective. It is actually biological. Agility is actually biological. So our brain, our nervous system works in this way. We work in the continuum between rigidity and chaos. And there is adaptability in the middle. So, yeah. So, between this rigidity and chaos, there's adaptability. And there are people who tend to prefer stability, okay? So they need rules, they need certain procedure, they need established framework to work on, guidance to, to hold on to. And then there are the people that are, in the middle, that balance between, we need some structures, but we also need to be flexible. And there are people who are agile, which is more leading to the chaos, a lot of flexibility and improvisations in a way, and highly flexible. So basically there are three characteristics of agility. First is velocity, the speed, and then of the flexibility, not only using one approach, but we can use multiple approach and multiple perspective as well. And then versatility. So these three characteristics should be needed actually to make us more agile to respond to the world. But what is the differences between agile and adaptive? Adaptive leaders are those who can respond quickly to changes outside. But if we are agile, it means that we can only respond reactively to the changes, but we can even initiate and drive changes itself. We can be the source of the changes itself. So agility is basically the kind of adaptability that leaning to chaos. And how actually we can build this change agility within people, our people agility? There are two paradigms basically in people development, right? We can see change agility as competency, which means it is a competency that can be trained. It's a skill that can be acquired through training, through adding new knowledge, through adding new experience, right? Because there's assumptions that our glass is fixed, okay? It is inherited that way. And then we can only add more and more skill within that. But from this science now, we can see that agility is also a capacity that can be enlarged. So it's not the content of the glass itself, but there's a size of the glass. So if we see agility as the capacity that we have, it can be expanded, it can be enlarged, because we have this ability of neuroplasticity. Our brain changes itself, keep changing every time due to circumstances and experience that we have. And how can we measure leadership agility? If the capacity, the leadership is leadership agility is the capacity, can we measure that? And now, basically, that's why I would like to share you about NEUROMETRIC, because using artificial intelligence, we can now detect and measure the source of agility, which is the brain capacity. consisting of the brain system itself, the brain circuitry, and then the neural mechanism underlying agility. Because brain capacity basically underlines every experience, every competency, every personality, and also behavior. And eventually, it will lead to the business performance. And how to measure that? Okay, so now, thanks to the development of new neurotechnology, there's a lot of neurotechnology like EEG, fMRI, FNIRS, even the micro-expressions tools or eye tracking. It is actually function as a tools for IoT, for Internet of to capture the data, the brain data from the brain activity of our brain. Okay, and then thanks to AI, now we can actually analyze, calculate, measure, and detect the neuromarker of agility using artificial intelligence, and then creating a profile of individuals, individual leaders, or even the entire organizations. And the output will be like the way of thinking, the way of working, the way of feeling, the way of decision making, and also the way of behaving. It depends of what kind of analysis that we would like to train our AI. So this is NEUROMETRIC basically, and we have developed several NEUROMETRICs for different purposes, but to measure leadership agility or change agility of leaders, we built an agile neuroindex. We call it index because it can be quantified. Okay, it can be it can classify people between stability, who are stable leaders, who prefer stability, and adaptive leaders, who can actually adapt and respond to change gradually, especially gradual change. And then also agile leaders, who can even initiate and drive changes, okay? And it consists of 4 dimensions of change agility. First is mental agility. It measures how agile we are in thriving, challenging situations and adapting to changing environment, whether we are panic, are we resilient, do we have enough level of cognitive flexibility, for example. And also learning agility, how fluid, how flexible, how fast we are to learn from new experience, to learn from new situations, and then keep seeking for growth no matter what happens, to navigate complex challenges. So learning agility basically the dimension of agility when we deal with complexity. And also innovation agility, how innovative we are in terms of generating creative ideas and translating them into entrepreneurial actions, to have enough guts to take necessary risk to actually thriving the changes or not. And also the 4th dimension is social agility, which measures how agile we are in connecting and collaborating with multiple parties, with various stakeholders in diverse environment. So this is what we actually measure, and we use EEG to detect the brain activity real time. So we have this, we develop the stimulus, and then we develop also this AI to measure this and to create the profile immediately. So we are in the process of creating this more automation. So it will, like, for if you have the brain scan today, and then you will have the report within 2 days, okay? And this is one of the findings from our current data. It is actually based on the data sets of more than 50,000 people. There are brain signature for leaders who are stable, adaptive, and agile. And this is the brain signature of adaptive leaders. They have less alpha coherence, in the frontal region. It means that the synapse, the neural connectivity is less in the frontal regions. It means that their executive functions is very flexible. They can create flexible scenarios for planning to the future. And then they tend to have a stronger connectivity in the back part of the brain and the posterior part of the brain, which means that they have enhanced metacognition as well. And also, they have this high gamma activation in the posterior part. So in the frontal part, it is less connected. They are flexible. They have flexible thinking or cognitive flexibility. And from these two research, there is a similarity, which is for adaptive leader, they tend to have a high level of situational awareness. They tend to have this very sensitive to capture whether there are any challenges in the situations in order to respond to it immediately. That's actually the brain signature of adaptive leaders. But what about agile leaders? So agility is beyond adaptability. So the agile leaders tend to have fast iterations, early future anticipations, and then very flexible pivoting with multiple perspective, and then fluid teaming. They can team up with different people in such a quick, quick changing of members of the team with high variety of roles, because they have the greater gamma activations in the left frontal and the right posterior region, which means agile leaders tend to keep focusing on the positive side of every situations. They tend to seek first the opportunity than risk. They tend to seek first to the what is possible than what cannot be done, okay? And then there can be even critical and creative simultaneously at the same time. Usually adaptive leaders tend to use it, to use criticism or critical thinking and creative thinking, in between, like switching from critical thinking to creative thinking. That's for adaptive leaders. But agile leaders can think critically and creatively at the same time. So that's why their innovation will be like very disruptive, because they think critically and strategically and creatively at the same time. And they have this intuitive sense of the emotional dynamics of the people around them in facing the ambiguity, so they can actually navigate people around them more easily. And that's why we can also, how actually we can develop this agility, can it be developed? We used our brain-focused coaching approach. So it's kind of the coaching that focusing on the stimulations of the brain system, whether it is to activate, to optimize, or even to alter the brain system and the brain circuit to improve this agility. And it turns out that leadership agility is not a fixed rate. It can be developed. For example, like this. This is the data of the learning agility from 45 senior leaders and executives through 3 to 6 month executive coaching sessions, one-on-one, using brain-focused coaching approach. And the result is that after 3 to 6 months coaching, there are a 30% increase of leadership learning agility. Okay, so there are 31% of increase from medium to high level, and there are 55% increase from medium-low agility to medium level of agility, or highly, it is between adaptive, nearly to agile, to be agile. So 60% increase in total, and then the changes is more into the capacity of divergent and creative thinking, which is associated with alpha wave of activations in the frontal and the right temporal areas, which is very, very supportive for a better problem solving, and then the ability to stop old thinking pattern, the ability to stop the old habit or habitual and keep open to new approaches every day. And also, if we actually apply this to more organization-wide, we use this for example, for leadership successions case. This is actually the case that we have for a leadership successions when we prepare BOD-2 and BOD-1 to the next level to prepare them. And then when we do this, actually the leadership agility can be improved is about from the first, before coaching, It actually takes about 1 year program. Before coaching, there is only about 33 agile leaders. 62% of them are adaptive, and they tend to think tactically in the functional level, and they tend to be intuitive. They make decisions with their feelings, and then they tend to navigate things with survival mentality in terms of thriving. But after the interventions, about 1 year interventions, more and more leaders become more agile. About 79, almost 80% are become more agile, have more agile brain. They persevere more, they have a thriving mentality, and then about 25% of them keep being promoted during the process. So yes, leadership agility can be expanded. It can be measured, it can be expanded as well. So it is not just a skill. Agility is not just a skill. It's actually biological. So it is related with our brain capacity. It is wired, but it can be rewired. It can be measured through Agile Neuroindex, which transform brain signals into leadership agility profile objectively and precisely with accuracy more than 90%. And it can be rewired through coaching, through conversations. And if we can measure and we can change it, but if we cannot measure, how can we optimize that? So yes, now leadership agility is in your hand, it is the capacity. The question is, how do you know that whether you have the brain capacity to be agile? So that's the questions when we have the boat outside. Thank you.
Thank you. I think we can clap all again. I promised you it'll be an intriguing subject. I think it has intrigued all. Thank you. In fact, very interestingly, you spoke about brain agility to change agility and people agility.
Yeah.
That is something lovely. I think probably most of us sitting here must have got a lot out of it. I think, see, we also, in the beginning also I spoke about 3A principle, which I have been keeping on talking to people about. One has to be, these 3 A's are, one has to be agile, one has to be adaptive, as well as it has to also align with the purpose. And you brought a very good dimension. When you move from rigidity to chaos, in between adaptivity is there.
Yeah.
So thank you very much for bringing a lot of clarity on that. Before I throw open to people for questioning,
Yes.
I have lots of questions. I wrote down a lot of questions. Number one, first question is that, how reliable is this test? That will be the first question which everybody will seem to ask. That you also gave a very good dimension of coaching, helping in converting people from adaptive, from almost to adaptive leaders to agile leaders. But my question is, how reliable are neurometric assessments? What is, in your opinion, how reliable is that?
Yeah, we have actually tested our internal reliability, which means that people tend to, to be measured twice without any interventions. Our internal reliability is more than 80%.
Wow.
Yeah. So it actually has been tested across races as well. Yeah.
That's what my next question, of course, to support that would be, will this test change depending on the culture of the organization, culture of that area, or the scenario that you have in that particular region? Will it change?
Okay. So what we develop is the stimulus of the brain for business and organization leaders. So it is not yet provided for non-business communities. So it's actually like the simulation of the brain when we are recording is actually like business cases, decision making that we use every day, like innovations, like business decision making. So it is actually like a universal case studies for everyone, yeah, around the globe, across
Lovely.
industries as well.
Lovely,
across
thank you,
functions,
thank
yeah.
you, thank you. I think I was telling you today morning, I was speaking to some youngsters who were from the Chamber of Commerce of Indonesia. So they
Yes.
were speaking to me.
Sure.
So they have lots of, I should not say is as worries, but concerns, particularly how the youngsters should move forward in these changing scenarios. Okay.
Yeah.
So my question to you will be that, can the neurometrics help identify the potentials of early leaders in their early ages?
It is very interesting that because this the name of agility or agile comes from the IT industries, right? When usually they are youngsters, okay. There are startups, and there is this agile practice like Scrum, Kanban, and everything, right? So we think that agility, young people they tend to be more agile than the more senior one because they actually like a digital native. But our research, our brain data mentioned that there is no such connectivity. So it doesn't have that the younger people have to be more agile than the more senior one. No, it doesn't have the kind of the change, but because of the is more into the biological structure of the brain, the capacity, how adaptive we are, or how various our past experience are. Okay. So it's not related with the digital, but the exposure of various experience or dynamic situation in the past.
Wow. Okay. All the senior leaders sitting here can clap for themselves. You are more agile. I thought people are not noting it. So you are more agile than the youngsters. That's what the survey says and the research says. Okay. So
Yes.
before I ask, I have lots of questions. Any questions from the audience? Anybody would like to ask any question? Please raise your hand. I think Mike will reach you. Anyone?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's somebody there. Yes. You can identify yourself, country, and then speak.
Yeah, hi, I'm Albert from Indonesia. I'm from Strata. So I just want to make mentions, emphasize on I think you mentioned something about change agility, right? Change agility. And then we can repurpose our brain to actually gain that kind of agilities. I just want to see from another side that if I connect it to the change resilience, right? So I heard that somewhere, I think in the articles, that our brain is actually prefer the place where it's comfortable and safe. Oh. Yeah, at the time. So when we're going to go to build our change agility with our brain capacity and competency, it seems that we are trying to quote unquote force our brain to move as flexible and as fast as it can, something like that. I mean, this is my understanding, right? Mm-hmm. From your point of view, so how's that can help to build the tolerance to the change or even to the change resilience itself? Mm-hmm. Is there a connection in that? Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome. Okay. Very interesting question, Albert. Thank you very much. Yes. Yes, you're right that actually we can make decisions more clearly if we feel safe. Yes, our brain needs some certain level of safety. The issue is whether we perceive a constant change as a safe place or as a threatening place for us to make decisions. That's actually the issues. And when you mention about change resilience, actually mental resilience is part of what we measure in the mental agility as well. So mental agility, it involves mental resilience or emotional resilience to perceive changes as more opportunity than as a threat. So when our brain perceives that as an opportunity, then we feel safe. Even we feel excited. So for example, like when the person who tend to be more privy to stability, the feeling that they really would like to have is contentment and peace. But the one who tend to be more agile, adaptive to agile, the emotions or the feeling that they would like to experience every day is excitement. So it actually involves different neurochemicals in our neural system. And basically what we do with brain focus coaching is not always shifting people from stable into agile or adaptive into agile. No, it depends on the situation of the industry and organizations. For example, in many of financial industries, we need to modulate the level of agility into adaptive because it is highly regulated industries. So it depends on the industries and organization as well.
Thank you, thank you. Any other question? Yes, we'll have. See, I just wanted to also, before he asks the questions, by the time, there is a percusite which is involved with the questioning. You saw that entire camera crew, everybody run towards you. So please ask more questions. Sorry, sir.
Thank you very much. First of all, I congratulate you on the answer to the last question. It's a perfect answer, made me fully understand the objective of his question, and thank you for the question. My question is relating to the part where you more than one time emphasized that it's biological, it's physical. So are there any specific bodily, physical exercises that one can do to increase mental capacity? Scientists like you have suggested, doing the planks and resisting the tendency to fail kind of creates special proteins that actually increase your mental capacity. I want to check that by you because ChatGPT confirmed it, but I don't always believe ChatGPT. Please.
Thank you very much.
Lovely question.
Yeah, love questions. Actually, how we can change either inside out or outside in. So there's a feedback loop in that. If we think more agile, and then our body tends to be more agile, and vice versa. If we have this physical trainings, physical exercise to be more agile, then our brain becomes more agile too. So like all the flexibility training, like yoga, okay? And then also agility trainings that every soccer player have. Yes, okay. That's actually the one that like ballet as well. So that's kind of a physical exercise that can help us to think more agile. So it is actually vice versa.
Thank you, thank you. Yeah, Sheikh Faleh wanted to ask a question.
Yes, please.
First of all, let us clap for him. He has still time to ask a question after organizing this. Let us clap for him. Brother.
Hi, Lyra.
Hi,
So
Chef.
I purposely, when I know about this topic, when I know about her research, I said she have to come and participate as a speaker
Thank
in
you,
our
Chef,
conference.
for
Because
the invitation.
Great, yes.
And personally, because my first company name in 1994 when I was 18 years old is called Power Mind Consultancy. Because I always do research and I love the idea of one's person mind, and when you can do really research to quantify and justify that it's really work, that's what we need now. A different methodology of thinking based on justifiable research. I just want to make that statement, that's all.
Okay, thank you, Chef.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you so much.
Any other question? Camera crew will run to you. Please ask the question. You will be on the screen.
In the back.
Yes,
Yeah.
in the back. Somebody is asking there. Yes. Where is it? Please raise your hand. You can stand up.
Yeah.
Where is it?
Thank you. Thank you very much. Very interesting. I'm Peter from the UK, via Malaysia. What I really wanted to know was, in terms of the activation of hormones, like the excitement hormone,
Yeah.
dopamine,
Yeah.
and any connection with the limbic system in terms of how we're motivating ourselves or the people we want to become more agile. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Peter, for your questions. That is very important. Yes, she knows already the neurochemicals of excitement, which is dopamine. It is produced in the limbic system. Basically, every feelings and emotions is associated with the balance of our neurochemicals in our nervous system, which is produced by our limbic systems. So every feeling is connected with the limbic. And then when you mentioned about growth mindset, yes, why I mentioned that agile people tend to prefer excitement over contentment, okay? Because the growth mindset is part of the subdomain of learning agility that we measure. And then there is specific neuromarker of growth mindset people. For example, receiving feedback. Those who have fixed mindset tend to perceive feedback as a personal attack, okay? So they, because their brain perceive it as a danger, and then they produce this, fight and flight mode, and the nervous system, using sympathetic nervous system, okay, is very, very stiff and firm. But for those who have a high level of growth mindset, which is most probably have a high level of learning agility, because it's part of the learning agility, they perceive a feedback as an opportunity to grow, so they feel excited. For example, there's a lot of top executives that I coached. They keep searching for their weakness. Why? Because they need room for growth. And if they have only appreciations, only good feedback, they think that they don't have any room to grow. So weakness is very good because they have to grow, and grow is actually what agile people are seeking for every time. So thank you, Peter, for the questions.
Thank you so much. Thank you. I think time is up. Otherwise, I would have loved to take many more questions. You have lost your track. Time is up, ma'am. So we'll take it offline.
Yes.
Okay. So I think once we get down, we can have this question. I know it is a topic, it's a subject where everybody will have some questions on that.
Yes.
So
and then,
next time.
and then there's the last slide, I think. Can you share the last slide? If you would like to have the PDF, you can just, take the...
Can you share the last slide, please?
There is a QR code, and you can get the
last slide.
The slides of this, the next
on the
slide
screen. Can we have the last slide?
The last slide, please.
Possible?
Just
okay,
put it on the screen.
Before that comes in, once again, Lyra, I would love to call you Puspa because that gives us a connection. One request to Sheikh Fale. Time of 45 minutes is not sufficient for her. Next time it will be longer.
Thank you very much.
But it was an interesting subject, and it was a subject where I think people will find resonance with. And you are doing a great job, and thank you very much for enlightening us.
You're welcome. Thank you
so
very
much.
much.
Thank you.